Breaking transfer news from Manchester United. Let's get straight to our reporter Dan Khan, who's in Manchester for us. Dan, what's the news?
Good evening, Bella. Well, look, a week ago, Manchester United hadn't signed a player this summer, but now they have their third this week, and that is Youri Tielemans. He is a Manchester United player confirmed by the club in the last 60 seconds. He signs a contract at Manchester United until June 2031. By my maths, that is a 5-year contract at Manchester United for the 29-year-old Belgian. Now, Youri Tielemans, we know, had a release clause at Aston Villa for around £35 million. Manchester United activated that release clause and have acted very swiftly in terms of reinforcing their midfield area. And we have some quotes by Youri Tielemans, first of all, that he's given to the club. He says, "It's hard to describe just how proud I am to join Manchester United. Signing for such a special club feels incredible. It is the culmination of years of dedication since I first fell in love with football. I've had the privilege of experiencing success in the game, and it has only increased my determination to achieve more. The ambition from everyone at the club is extremely clear. We are all determined to push for the biggest trophies over the coming years." Now, that's the player side. Bella, let me just give you a taste of what the director of football, Jason Wilcox, has had to say. He has said Youri has consistently been one of the most outstanding midfielders in the Premier League throughout the past 7 years. He has all of the technical qualities as well as the ambition and mentality to thrive at Manchester United. Youri's consistency is exceptional, and he will add further composure, creativity and leadership to our squad. We are delighted to welcome a player of his influence and experience both on the pitch and within the dressing room as we continue to build a team ready to challenge for the biggest honours. So, Bella, to recap that news, Manchester United signed Youri Tielemans for around £35 million from Aston Villa. The former FA Cup winner at Leicester, he is now a Europa League winner at Aston Villa. He scored in both of those finals. United have a huge big game player, someone who's very experienced in the Premier League and at international level, and just a touch of class in that midfield for next season.
And Dan, we were talking about United being interested in Tielemans just a day ago, and it feels like they've moved fairly quickly. And also, this one's caught everyone by surprise a little bit.
Yeah, they have done, Bella, and they've done the similar with Santos as well at Chelsea. I mean, £48 million for the former Chelsea midfield, and now at Manchester United. And I'm sure he, as we saw today, has already taken part in training with his new teammates at Carrington. And I think that's very much what we're seeing from a new Manchester United recruitment team. Yes, led by Jason Wilcox, but they've invested heavily in a new data-led, driven approach with the team at the club there. And you also have Christopher Vivell leading the recruitment on the club side of things as well. So look, it just shows that we can talk about all of these names throughout the transfer window, but Manchester United have acted quite diligently, quite swiftly to get these reinforcements in, and they are vital. Let's not forget Manuel Ugarte, he is out for the foreseeable future with a serious knee injury he picked up in this summer's World Cup. Casemiro also left the club this summer as well, so they were very much in need of reinforcing this midfield. We knew it was a priority going into this window, and they now have two very different midfielders, two different age profiles, two different levels of experience. They have different qualities as well, but they're probably still missing a little bit as well. So I think that's what we're very interested in seeing for the rest of the window.
Yeah, so they've already bolstered the midfield, but do you think they need any further reinforcements there? Do you think we can expect some?
Look, I think from what I understand, Bella, I think Manchester United would be keen to add maybe one more midfielder. We know they have long-term interest in Bournemouth, Alex Scott, but everything we're hearing from the Bournemouth side of things is he is not for sale, and they'd really like to tie him down to a new contract. They also have a long-term interest in Brighton's Carlos Baleba. Look, I think when you look at Santos and you look at Tielemans, maybe what you look at that midfield with Kobbie Mainoo as well, maybe that midfield just lacks a bit of legs, a bit more athleticism, which is what maybe they thought they were getting in Atalanta's Edison. We now know that Manchester United aren't pursuing that deal anymore. So can they still invest in that midfield? They still have other business to do in terms of outgoings, first of all, to make sure they can be flexible for the rest of the summer. But I think another midfielder is on the cards, a different profile of midfielder, and I think that will be their next priority, as well as maybe looking at left back. A left winger is very interesting as well, but they need to sort out Marcus Rashford's future once his World Cup is done with England. What that looks like, we will wait and see. But it looks like they're going to reintegrate him into Michael Carrick's team at Old Trafford. But whether that means a long-term fix, at the moment, I would say highly not, and he could still be out the doors at Old Trafford this summer. But I think this is still very much the beginning of a transfer window for Manchester United to compete on all fronts.